Good day, folks. Welcome to Just Omer. My name is Omer C. Ahern Jr., and I am giving you my periodic report as a Grafton County Commissioner here in Grafton County, New Hampshire. I am the District 3 Grafton County Commissioner, serving the towns in the southeast part of Grafton County, up as far as Warren and Campton, and over to Canaan, and down to Bristol, Alexandria, and of course over to Ashland, Holderness, Plymouth, and Hebron, and the little towns of Dorchester and Groton, and all the towns in between. This is my third term serving as a Grafton County Commissioner, and I've also in the past served as a County Commissioner for 2 terms down in Sullivan County, New Hampshire. I serve with 2 other County Commissioners. The chairperson of the Grafton County Board of Commissioners is Commissioner Wendy Piper from Enfield, New Hampshire. She's the District 1 County Commissioner. She serves the towns of Lebanon, Hanover, and Enfield. And then we also serve with Commissioner Linda Lauer from up in Bath, New Hampshire, and she serves the towns in western and northern Grafton County. Commissioner Lauer is also a veteran, and right now I'm thinking about all the service that so many of our veterans and young men and women have provided to our country over the last 250 years. And of course, we had a terrible situation happen to 13 of our brave servicemen and women over in Afghanistan. So hope you can remember them and their families in your prayers coming up. The county commissioners are responsible in New Hampshire, and there are 10 counties in New Hampshire, and we're responsible for managing and supervising and overseeing the county nursing home, the county house of correction and jail, also known as the Department of Corrections. And in Grafton County, we have a third responsibility, and that is to oversee the operations of the farm. We have a county farm in Grafton County, and originally the farms were available in every county. And again, originally they were there to make sure there was food, dairy products, meat, vegetables, etc., to feed into the residents in the nursing home and also the inmates in the House of Correction. So Grafton County still has an active working farm, very outstanding dairy farm, and we also raise vegetables and hay and corn. And this year, because of a shortage of labor supply in the Department of Corrections, which I'll be giving a little bit of a report on later on in my report this morning, because of the COVID lockdown and the bail reform, we have not had enough inmate labor to work on the farm. So the commissioners, majority of the commissioners, decided not to plant any of the vegetable fields this year. But we still did plant winter squash and potatoes and some sweet corn. Sweet corn to be fed into the Department of Corrections, to feed into the inmates. Of course, we grow cow corn to make silage to feed into our dairy cows. And of course, we make hay. We also have a 750-acre woodlands operation up there in Grafton County, which is overseen and maintained by our county forester, Jim Frome. Great guy working with the UNH Cooperative Extension folks. And we have a very wonderful team of UNH Extension folks up there at Grafton County who are involved with vegetables and food safety and 4-H. And we'll talk about them maybe on another day. The county commissioners meet pretty much every week. except if there's a fifth Tuesday in the month, we ordinarily do not meet on that fifth Tuesday, which means there will not be a commissioner meeting next Tuesday because that's the fifth Tuesday in August. If we had some things that we really needed to work on, talk about, make some decisions on, then we would meet. But we have a very outstanding administration there at the county. Andrew Dorsett is the county administrator. Julie Libby is the county finance director. And we have some outstanding people that serve you, the citizens and the taxpayers of Grafton County up there at Grafton County Complex up in North Haverhill. So, the commissioners have some decisions to make, but we are very blessed to have some outstanding staff people up there. And I've been talking about those, and I'll continue to talk about those fantastic people that work for us. And of course, in this COVID day and age that we're dealing with, we also are blessed to have some outstanding employees at Grafton County, especially in the nursing home. The nursing staff and support staff have just gone above and beyond, and I really appreciate all the work that Craig Labor, our nursing home administrator, provides, and the supervision that he provides as the county home administrator, nursing home administrator. But again, we have some outstanding employees that really care about the residents that we serve at Grafton County. And we have some outstanding corrections officers at the Department of Corrections. And of course, we have some outstanding people that work very hard in the maintenance department to keep all of our buildings up and the electrical system running well, and the air filtration systems, and the whole thing. So I'm very proud to be associated with all these folks up there at the Grafton County Complex in North Haverhill. So talk a little bit about our meeting that we had on this past Tuesday, August 24th, starting at 9 o'clock in the morning. Of course, we start out with the Pledge of Allegiance to our nation before every meeting. And the first item on the agenda was we had a request from Kelly Monahan, the Register of Deeds, for a non-public session. So pursuant to New Hampshire Revised Statute annotated 91-A:3, Roman numeral 2, small letter C, I cannot talk about anything that's discussed in a non-public session. But it was an issue that she had some concerns about that are appropriate for non-public session. So we listened to what Register of Deeds Monahan had to say, and that was over. Again, Register of Deeds Monahan does a fantastic job with her outstanding staff at the Registry of Deeds. The Registry of Deeds is the one department at Grafton County that actually makes money for the county. They bring in, I don't know, over $100,000, maybe $200,000 a year more than what their budget is, and especially this past year because of all the real estate sales that have been going on in New Hampshire. So we appreciate the work of Register of Deeds Kelly Monahan. The next item on the agenda was to hear the monthly report from the superintendent of the Department of Corrections, Tom Elliott, who is a Marine. From what I understand, is Marines never retire, so we're very appreciative of Tom Elliott's service to our nation. But he is the superintendent of the Department of Corrections, and he gives us a report every month. And part of that report is he tells us what the population is at the House of Correction. And right now, he reported that there are 59 inmates, male and female, segregated. They're not all in the same place, all in the same pod. So we have 59 residents there, inmates at the House of Correction. Unit F, which is the medium medium facility there. There are 20 inmates, and this is the male facility, medium section of the House of Correction. And in Unit E, that's the female pod at the Department of Corrections. There is 13 females presently at the House of Correction, and 6 of those residents are Coos County residents. So Coos County has chosen not to create a separate female facility up there, although in the old days they did, but because of the requirements for codes and everything, the commissioners up there a few years ago decided not to keep a female facility up there. They still have a male facility up in Coos County, and we're relatively close to Coos County, the jail up there in Lancaster. The relatives of the incarcerated women can, it's not much of a problem to come down and visit with their loved ones at the Grafton County Department of Corrections. So there's 13 females that we're holding right now. Unit D, this is also another male unit. There are 9 inmates in there. And that's a little less confining. They're still confined, but it's not quite as the inmates there aren't quite as a risk to society. So there are 9 inmates there. And some of these inmates in that facility are ones that are taking advantage of the different types of rehabilitative programs that we offer at Grafton County. Alcohol, drug abuse, illegal drugs abuse, and things like that. Then our maximum unit, there are 15 inmates there, and that's usually for pretrial people that have been arrested and have not been adjudicated, haven't had their trials yet, or they haven't had a decision made by the court. So that's Unit C, 15 inmates there. And then in the separate intake facility, there are 2 inmates there. And again, each one of these units that I'm talking about is a separate pod within the facility, and those pods are all independently set up. So if we needed to close a pod down, it would not adversely or significantly affect the rest of the correctional facility up there. And it allows, I think, for a little more efficient use of our manpower. And we do have some female corrections officers as well. And at this time, we have 18 inmates. They're not inmates now because they're out of facility. There may be with the ankle bracelets. They're being monitored outside the facility, but they still have to report in. We have to still keep an eye on them. So the total overall population, and again, in-house, we have 59 people. The total population that we are responsible for is 77. Some interesting statistics. Since July of this year, July 1st, we have had 120 inmates, male and female, admitted to our facility. 86 males and 34 females. Now, some of these folks they come in for a night, they're arrested, there's no court, no judge to make a decision as to, whether they're going to have bail or not. And so, even though they may only be there for a night, they're arrested and brought in for the night and then see the judge in the next day if it's a weekday. And they may be just here for one night, but that's still considered part of the intake. That's part of our responsibility under the judicial system here in New Hampshire. we have a community corrections department where we have 4 inmates out on electronic monitoring. Yeah, those are the ones with the ankle bracelets. The inmates do pay, who have the electronic monitoring, they do pay for those devices and the reporting aspects of those devices. We have no inmates now out on daily work release, and then we have some inmates that are out on pretrial services, a total of 18, and one of whom is on GPS monitoring. Another part of the report is Operation Impact. Sergeant Harness did 3 presentations for the students at the Haverhill Area Recreation Program. She also worked numerous shifts inside the jail and provided courtesy rides and to inmates. So when an inmate is released, the county facility kind of is out in the middle of nowhere there, and sometimes, even though we're not obligated to, sometimes the inmate may have some physical disabilities or something. So if possible, we do provide transportation. We're not required to, and right now we are in a position where we can do that. Again, trying to set a good example for the inmates. And then Sergeant Harness, also helped to supervise the few inmates that we have working on the farm. Right now we have 1 inmate that is been classified able to work on the farm, and the classification process is very complex, let's say, very complex. And so it takes a long time to determine whether or not an inmate is appropriate to be allowed to work out on the farm, whether it's in the dairy barn, helping to milk the cows, or clean out the gutters, feed the cows in the barn, clean out the calf bins, heifer bins, and so on. And also we do have a farm stand up there in North Haverhill, across the street from the nursing home. And we do have at least 1 inmate working there, meeting with the public. The last few years it's been one of the female inmates that has been providing that service. And again, it's an opportunity for these folks to maybe learn a little bit about agriculture when they're doing that. So Sergeant Harness, when it says working on the farm, she's there kind of monitoring any of the inmates from the House of Correction that are there working on the farm. Superintendent Elliott gave us also a report on the community work detail. Sergeant Griffin has been working with the farm as well, covering shifts in the jail, and he worked at the North Haverhill Fair, set up and tear down for a number of the booths with some of the inmates. So again, this community work detail, part of the community corrections, it's an opportunity for those inmates. I guess you can call them trustees. That may have been a term that was used, years ago, but we're still using it. Trustees. These are inmates that are probably close to their termination time in jail, or in lockup in the House of Correction. And so over the years, the inmates under the community corrections work program have, in the spring of the year, they've gone to different town cemeteries to help clean up after the winter, clean up the brush. They've helped to paint a number of Grange halls inside and out. I know that a few years ago they helped to paint the inside and outside of the lower Intervale Grange here in Plymouth. They've also done some painting on the outside of the Grange Hall in the town of Rumney. And so they also were involved in Wentworth last year in doing cutting of brush and cleaning up the area around where the new Veterans Memorial has been set up there in the town of Wentworth. And I want to, make sure we thank Mr. Arnie Scheller, who is right now the chairman of the Board of Selectmen in Wentworth, for all of his hard work and the work of his wife Sonia Scheller in working to set up the Veterans Memorial there in Wentworth. If you're driving through Wentworth right after you pass Shawnee's store, if you look to your right, up on the little bit of a rise just by the old town hall, you'll see a big stone, big boulder with many smaller boulders flaring off, and that's the Veterans Memorial. There's a brick walkway around it, and if you get a chance, you ought to stop in and pay the respect to our veterans who came from Wentworth or lived in Wentworth. And again, I want to thank Arnie Scheller and Sonia for what they do. But anyway, the House of Correction community work detail came over, and they did some clearing of the brush and trying to make the area look more presentable. And it does. It looks a lot more presentable. So I want to thank Sergeant Griffin and Sergeant Harness for their work. For the month of June and July, we talked a little bit about this already, staff conducted 26 transports. One transport was to a treatment facility, 2 were medical transports to 4 inmate medical needs, doctor's appointments, and 23 were courtesy ride home for inmates being released who could not find a ride for themselves. And then the FIRM program, which I talked a little bit about. At present, there are 3 current participants in the level 1, the basic initial part of the program. Again, this is designed to help inmates who have any number of issues, drug issues, alcohol issues, and a part of the FIRM program, and I can't tell you exactly what FIRM means right now, but it's a program designed to help these folks that come into custody at the House of Correction, helping them to learn some ways of keeping themselves from getting into trouble in the future when they are ultimately released. So that's a good program. And it's doing some good work. And I've seen some of the results of that program. For the month of July, the programs department provided various services to over 18 different inmates for approximately 397 hours. These services included substance use groups, individual counseling, and a program called HISET. The majority of these hours came from the following services broken down below. Individual counseling, 13 total hours, female 2 hours, and male 11 hours. The substance use groups, treatment groups, there was 376 total hours. Females received 146 hours in this treatment program, and males 230 hours were provided to the males there. Again, in this day and age, we don't just lock up the inmates. We try to do things in Grafton County to help these folks, men and women, to realize that there's a better way to live their lives so that they don't have to come back into jail and be separated from their families, their loved ones, their children, their spouses. So this is why we're doing these things. A lot of these programs, though, are grant funded, and I think we talked a little bit about that when I was talking about the budget about 3 months ago. Medical/mental health report for the month of July, there were 3 psychiatric clinic days with a total of 25 patient encounters. Some other general items from the DOC report, Department of Corrections report. We have one retirement, longtime outstanding servant there at the House of Correction. Lieutenant Van Dorn is retiring. They promoted one of the sergeants to a lieutenant, a 15-year employee at the Department of Corrections. We did submit a BDAS grant. We were requesting $433,000. We don't always get that amount of money, but again, this allows us to provide these programs for the inmates. And he also reported the number of COVID vaccinations there. So that is the report from the Department of Corrections. And again, that's a major responsibility that the county has to try and provide opportunities for these inmates to turn their lives around. And we have had some successes in that regard. The next monthly report, was from the High Sheriff of Grafton County. The sheriff's position is a constitutional provision. Constitutional provision, state New Hampshire Constitution, and he gave us his monthly report talking about the number of civil service that he does and arrests and transports to the courts and to other facilities. So we got a report from Sheriff Stiegler. Then we had a meeting or a report from the new information technology folks that are now providing information technology services at Grafton County Complex and beyond. The name of the outfit is SNS, and the president, Kevin Lowe, was there to talk to us about some of the challenges that they are experiencing coming in new to Grafton County, and trying to be able to provide the necessary operational services for the different departments. As you know, many of you know, technology and computers and software and computer telephones and everything, that's all a big part of our society these days. And what they're doing is an essential need for the proper and appropriate operations of the Grafton County home and the Grafton County Jail and the courthouse. And of course, the county courthouse, the Superior Court and the Circuit Court and New Hampshire Probation Department are all housed up there at the county complex in North Haverhill. So all of these things require, the up-to-date technology so that things can be done properly. So essentially, that is what happened on Tuesday, this past Tuesday. And one of the things that we have to do, too, the commissioners have to do, is we have to do an evaluation of our new county administrator, which is kind of required by our policies. And if any of you folks have any questions about Grafton County government, what's going on up at the Grafton County complex, the farm, the nursing home, House of Correction, questions that I can answer, excuse me, please don't hesitate to contact me. My phone number in Wentworth is 764-6024. My email address is omer.ahern.jr. And so please do not hesitate to call me if you have any questions. And again, I want to thank PBVRC, the Pemmy Baker, PBTV, for allowing me this opportunity to make these reports to you on a regular basis. So my time is up. I want to thank you all for listening in. And as I close, I would like to say, God bless the great United States of America, our great republic, and God bless the state of New Hampshire. Live free or die. Death is not the worst of things. That's a quote from General John Stark, our New Hampshire Revolutionary War general. Thank you.